It's hot, it's humid, it's one of the most physical and mental challenges of them all. It's Singapore. Welcome to Free Practice.
Radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
And if today's practice session is anything to go by, we're in for an exceptional weekend of Formula One.
Okay, Russell's behind you now.
What an incredible practice session that was. But the fun doesn't stop here though. Join us again as the rest of the weekend unfolds.
work. Head on back to the garage and we'll start going over the data.
And if today's practice is anything to go by, we're in for an exceptional weekend of Formula One. As night falls in Singapore, the track starts to warm up, and it'll be red hot by the time we find out who's on pole for tomorrow's race. Time to set the grid then. Welcome along to qualifying here in Singapore.
mate. That's P2. You're currently in second place.
Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. And here's our track, 4.94 kilometres long, and overtaking chances into the first corner, into turn 14 at the end of the Esplanade, and now into turn 16 in the newly reprofiled sector that we first ran on in 2023. Still though, it's punishing and tough on the brakes, and the heat and humidity will take an effect on our drivers. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Max Verstappen and Albon, Antonelli, Sainz, Colapinto and Lance Stroll, Russell, Piastri, Liam Lawson and Behrman, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Jack Doohan and Isaac Hadjar, Ocon and Gabriel Bortoleto rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And joining me in the commentary box this afternoon, the First Lady of World Motorsports, Naomi Schiff. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday. But in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
It is certainly an interesting time in this set of regulations because, as you know, when a new set of regulations come out, everything changes and you always wonder who's got it right. Well, we know that Red Bull are the ones who really got it right the last couple of years. But now you can see the rest of the grid slowly start to catch up, and there's really only so much left for Red Bull to get out of these regulations. So it is interesting, and the pack are catching up.
Then the formation lap is underway and the track temperature looks warm. That may or may not play into some of the team's hands in today's race. As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can, and they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, failing that, within the points.
was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Flag. Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Nice move, good job. As things stand, we're going to be leading the championship. And that's Carlos behind. Time last lap, 1 minute 34.1. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 8 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Nice work, you smashed it. Really good job on hitting that target, mate. Right, let's go, come on. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops, let's go. Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place. on him. He might make a mistake. Okay, clear. Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
Good job, gents. Good job.
And Nico Hülkenberg, at long last, can grab a podium and a podium for victory. Hülkenberg wins.
This is a result that's going to really matter for them. A good haul of points today, and it's consistency across the board that's going to keep them in this title battle.
From lights out to the checkered flag, this is what they're racing for. It's points and a trip to the podium. And making the others green with envy, it's victory for the Hulk. Nico Hülkenberg on the top step of the podium. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.